Adding rounded corners to elements is made trivially easy by the border radius property, which is supported by the latest versions of all browsers, and the CSS designer in Dreamweaver CC has a visual tool that produces results in seconds. In the exercises site, I've opened rounded_corners.html. You can find a copy of this file in the Diving Deeper into CSS folder in the course assets. Although the property name is border radius, you don't actually need a border to be able to use rounded corners. As long as the element has got a background color or a background image, you can apply border radius. In this page, I've got a level 1 heading with a double border. Then I've got two divs. Both of them have got a background color but no border. The first one is a square, so it has the ID square. The second one is a rectangle, so it has the ID rectangle. To work with border radius, you need to be in Live View. So I'm going to click the Live button, and then in the Selectors pane, I'll select H1, and border radius is in the border section of the Properties pane. Click border and then scroll down a bit further, and there is that visual tool. At the top there are two tabs, 4R and 8R. When 4R is selected, the horizontal and vertical radius of each corner is set to a single value. But when you select 8R, you can set the horizontal and vertical radius of each corner separately. Let's go back to 4R, and then I'm going to click this chain icon in the center so that all the values are the same, and I'm going to scrub one of the values, it doesn't matter which one, by holding down my mouse button and then just dragging to the right. And as I do so, you should be able to see in Live View that the corners are becoming more and more rounded. So let's try it with the square. I'm going to click the chain icon in the center so that all properties are set to the same value. And then instead of pixels, I'm going to change it to %. And then type 50 in there. And as I do, my square turns into a circle. That's pretty quick and painless. Now let's say we want to turn it into, say, a drop of water or something like that. Click the chain icon in the center. The chain link is broken, so I can now change one corner independently. And if I scrub to the left, a water drop. And now let's work with the rectangle. Select rectangle, still got 4R, select the chain icon in the center, and then percentage, make it 50%, and the rectangle becomes a nice ellipse. But now let's switch to 8R, and this enables us to change the horizontal and vertical radii independently. I've still got the chain icon selected, so if I move one of these values, it changes it the same on each corner. You can see in Live View we're beginning to get a lozenge shape. Deselect the chain icon in the center so we can set corners independently. Set this one to 0 and set this one to 0, and we've now got a rather interesting shape. So you can start experimenting and getting all sorts of interesting shapes using border radius. The border radius property is supported by all modern browsers, but not by Internet Explorer 8 and earlier. Older versions of Internet Explorer just display square corners, but this is a purely decorative effect, so unless it's a really vital part of your design, I think you can safely ignore older browsers. To add rounded corners to an element that has either a border, a background, or both, use the Border Radius visual tool in the CSS Designer. Selecting 8R at the top lets you set the horizontal and vertical radii of each corner independently. Selecting 4R sets the same value for horizontal and vertical, producing an even shape.